Okay, so today we're talking about procrastination. And if you suffer from procrastination, what you need to know is that it's not because you're lazy. That deep down, procrastination comes from your brain trying to protect you. It's running a pattern. And if we can interrupt that pattern, we can stop procrastination. But until you understand what's causing it and how to stop it, nothing's going to change. Okay, so it's the S.O.S method today, and we're going to start with the S, which is spot the signal. Now, here's what most people don't get. Procrastination doesn't start with you in the middle of a TikTok episode. It doesn't start with you streaming 3 seasons of Stranger Things. And I know because I've been doing the same thing. But it starts before that. It starts with that big job that you need to do, and your brain giving you this urge to stop, an urge to do something different, that urge to do anything other than the thing that you need to do. And I'm sure you felt it before, I felt it, but let's look at a quick example. So, a quick example that my students should be well aware of is the good old English essay. Being an English teacher, I know my students sit there and they can't wait to get into those English essays, but I'm sure every now and then they do get that feeling like they just want to procrastinate. They've got the essay due on Friday, it's Tuesday night, and they've just got that urge that this is really going to suck. I don't want to make a start with this. I don't really know where to start. How can I do that? And then before you know it, they're into that next episode of their favorite TV show. They're listening to some kind of cool music that I don't even know about, and they're not writing the essay. Now, of course, some students get that feeling and they know how to push on through. They can just get it done. But if you're one of those ones who just can't resist the call to do anything else other than that essay, then what you need to know is that urge is your threat detection system kicking in. It's that flight or fight feeling that you get that says, this is a struggle. I don't really know how to deal with this. And instead of you being honest and feeling like, oh, I'm not quite good enough, or I don't know if I can handle this, your brain goes into flight mode and it wants to run away. It doesn't want to take on this challenge. Once you're aware that that's what's going on, that's when we can change the system. We can catch the procrastination bug, that urge at the signal. So your first step in fixing this problem is to stop at the signal. So maybe tomorrow when you do that first round of revision for whatever you're studying, or maybe it is the English essay or the history essay or whatever, maybe you sit down and you just be very mindful about how you're feeling. Just check yourself, say, how do I feel as I approach this task? If it's an easy task, you probably feel confident and you can do it. But if you're feeling that, oh my God, I don't want to do this, then you've started to spot that urge. And once we can spot that urge, then we can do something about it. Then the whole system can change. And the next step is O, S-O-S, so O, and it's for own the feeling. And maybe that feeling is not always dread. Maybe that feeling could be boredom. Maybe it could be overwork. But you want to stop when you spot that urge and you want to own it. You've got to ask yourself very seriously, what is going on here? And once you start to ask the question, then you can make a logical and reasoned approach to moving through it and getting to where you need to get to. So if you've been completely honest with yourself and you've asked the question and you've answered it, and maybe it is burnout, you need a time to break, or maybe it is that you're just not ready, or maybe it is that fear, which a lot of the time it is, that feeling like you're not ready. But if you've asked the question, say it out loud. Why am I procrastinating here? I'm procrastinating because I'm not ready and I don't think I'll do a good job. Say it out loud. Your brain will recognize that this is a great step on the road to taking progress. Now we can take the power back. Now we can move into step 3, and now we can make a real change. And so the final S, step 3 in our system, is to just start with 2 minutes. Now, it's once you've gone through those other 2 steps that just starting and just doing 2 minutes is super important, and that's where things will kick in because you have admitted to yourself what the issue is. You know where you're stopping, you know why you're stopping, and your brain is at the step of wanting to run, wanting to hide, wanting to do anything else other than the work that you know you have to do. And you've admitted it to yourself. And so, just starting with 2 minutes, you know you can push through. If you've got that fear, I'm not quite ready, well, 2 minutes of whatever I can do, even if it's the brainstorming, even if it's these are just the three things I know that I can put into this English essay and put them on the page. Just 2 minutes. And even if you just do 2 minutes and stop, then that's great. You've won. You've stopped that urge right there. You are really metacognitive about the signal. Your brain said, I don't want to do this. I want to run away. I've answered why that feeling came about. And now I've pushed through and just done 2 minutes. Give yourself a pat on the back. You had the win. But my guess is 70% of the time you'll say, this is actually not that hard. I'll do it. I can probably make it better next time. But just go for that 2 minutes. Now your brain knows that this is why I stopped. Here's the problem, and I can push through. Next time, it'll be even easier. Okay, so if you've made it this far, I'm guessing you got some value out of this. I've also got another video on how to focus more, which uses the ATT method, which would be worth checking out if procrastination is something that you're struggling with. And that's very similar advice, but will help you with your ability to focus. If you'd like, subscribe as well. My plan is this mission I've started is to continue to come back week in, week out, or as regularly as I can, to give you some support with these innovative learning methods, which I believe once we have become more metacognitively aware, once we understand how our brains are really working and how we can overcome our challenges, we'll be better students and we'll be better at playing the game of life and doing everything that we need to do. So I'm going to keep coming back and I'll hopefully see you next time. But all the best with the exams and with everything else you got going on. I wish you well. Thank you very much for listening.